Waste fine food on you? That's funny. My sister mocked at her wedding. Just drop the present and head home. I blinked, shocked. My parents stayed silent. Well, maybe she ought to leave, my dad murmured. Fine, I'll leave. I smiled, then added. But remember this. You'll all regret it. My name is Harper. For as long as I recall, I've been able to sense things, deep, dangerous things that others miss. Not only feelings, but currents of something darker. Fear, deceit, rage. It isn't a party trick. I don't foresee the future, but I sense what hides beneath the grins people wear as masks. And for that, my family treated me as though I was broken. Growing up in Charleston, South Carolina, I quickly learned that being strange made you disposable. My mom, Emma, claimed I had an overactive imagination. My dad, Robert, mostly ignored me, unless it was to mock what I said. But it was my younger sister, Chloe, who truly knew how to twist the blade. She's 3 years younger with a face made for magazine covers and a voice that pulls every eye in a room. I was the shadow in her flawless life, the warning tale. Don't let her sit beside me, she'd whisper to Mom at school plays. She makes everything feel heavy. I stopped trying. I stopped telling them when I sensed something wrong. Even when I was 8 and told Mom not to trust Dad's new colleague simply because I felt uneasy, she brushed it aside. Later, that same man tricked Dad into co-signing a lease that nearly cost us our house. But nobody thanked me. Nobody apologized. I kept it all buried until middle school when I cautioned a teacher about a substitute gym coach. I couldn't explain why, but I knew something was off. That teacher trusted me and caught the man trying to plant a hidden camera in the girls' locker room. It was the first time someone believed me. That teacher introduced me to a woman named Olivia, his aunt, a business consultant. But Olivia wasn't ordinary either. She looked at me as though she already knew. And when I told her about my instinct, she didn't flinch. I've had it too, she said gently. You don't need to fear it. You just need to learn how to control it. That day, my life split into before and after. Olivia became my guide. She showed me how to direct my senses, not just for people, but for companies. She worked with CEOs, family firms, struggling startups. She said my ability was rare and real, and that I could help others if I learned to manage it. And so I did. I built a small consultancy under Olivia's watch, quietly, anonymously, mostly online. While my classmates were posting selfies and searching for internships, I was helping real firms recover from near collapse. But none of that mattered to my parents. When I told them I wouldn't apply for a standard office job after college graduation, their reactions were predictable. What kind of remote nonsense is this? My dad barked. If you're not earning a real paycheck, you can at least tidy the house. My mom added, your sister is at a top firm. You should be thankful we even let you stay here. And Chloe, she just laughed. Working from home, she said, twirling her hair. Must be nice to be jobless in pajamas. They had no clue I'd already helped rescue a multi-million-dollar logistics company. I stayed silent. What was the use? For a year, I quietly paid rent to my parents, managed most chores, and took client calls past midnight. I built a name. Word spread slowly but surely, and Olivia began sending more serious clients my way. Then one evening, Chloe stormed through the door, her heels striking the hardwood. I'm getting married, she declared. His name is Nathan. He's training to inherit his dad's property development company. And no, don't ask Harper. He's not hiring. She smirked when she said it, and I realized she honestly believed I was still beneath her. My parents were overjoyed. Finally, someone worthy of our Chloe, Mom glowed. I always knew she'd catch a winner, Dad said. I tried to smile politely, but something inside me twisted. I'd never met Nathan, but simply hearing his name, it felt like cold smoke rising along my spine. That feeling usually signaled danger. 2 weeks later, they hosted an engagement dinner at our house. Nathan arrived in a perfectly cut suit and slicked back hair, flashing that polished charm too many mistake for charisma. The instant I shook his hand, it struck me. Something was wrong. I couldn't explain it. Not without sounding like the lunatic they all thought I was, but I felt it like a fog wrapped around his figure, heavy and manipulative. "You've been dating for 3 months?" I asked cautiously. Chloe rolled her eyes. "God, Harper, why do you always sound like a counselor? Just say congrats like a normal person. I just mean maybe don't hurry into signing anything like a mortgage or we're adults." Nathan cut in smoothly. "Don't worry, we're not asking you to pitch in." I stepped back for now. The wedding day was set for mid-September at a lavish venue beside the bay. Chloe made a grand display of revealing the menu, the custom blooms, the guest list stacked with high-status names. One morning, she sent a snide group email. "Reminder, companions are limited to close relatives and VIPs. And please ensure you bring a wedding present. No freeloaders." It wasn't even subtle. I was the sole sibling, and I wasn't bringing anyone. I knew what was next. Olivia sensed my unease. "Are you still attending?" she asked softly. "I should, for closure if nothing else." She placed her palm over mine. "If things unravel, let them. You don't require their approval. The truth always finds its way when the lights are brightest." I didn't fully grasp her meaning, but I was about to learn. The wedding day dawned hot and cloudless. The kind of September day where the sun made all things appear flawless. Too flawless. The venue was a vast coastal resort near Savannah, Georgia. White stone floors, pale roses, champagne towers. The sort of setting where image meant everything. I wore a plain navy dress, no extras. I wasn't there to be admired. I was there because I needed to witness it unfold. Because something told me this wouldn't finish the way they imagined. The ceremony itself was as theatrical as Chloe had always envisioned. Live string quartet, custom pen vows, a bridal march synced to a swell. But I wasn't watching them. I was watching him, Nathan. The way he held Chloe's hand, as though he owned it. The way he greeted guests, weaving in names like payment. The way his gaze never once touched his own parents, seated stiff in the second row. There was something in his refusal to meet their eyes that screamed calculation. After the vows, we were guided into the reception hall. Everything shone. Gold details, floor-to-ceiling panes, a jazz trio near the bar. I reached my assigned seat, the farthest one from the dance floor beside the staff's entry. Figures. I sat silently. Others at my table introduced themselves. Distant cousins, college friends, an ex-colleague of Chloe's. And then I noticed something odd. No beverages, no appetizers, no main course. Other tables were already being served, glasses brimming, plates steaming, but ours? Empty. I signaled a passing waiter. "Excuse me, is there a delay with our meals?" She glanced at her chart and offered me a restrained smile. "I'm sorry. I was informed this table is self-handled." "What?" Before I could press further, Chloe appeared at my side in her designer heels and lace gown, smiling like a contest queen. She bent close, her voice a whisper dripping venom. "You didn't honestly think we'd waste fine food on someone like you, did you?" I blinked, shocked. "You can just drop your tiny gift by the entrance and head out. Maybe grab a packet of chips on the way. That's more your style." I parted my lips, but no sound emerged. Then Nathan strolled up, grinning, arm casually draped around her waist. "Everything fine here?" he asked like he was addressing a server. "She's leaving," Chloe said. "Aren't you, Harper?" I scanned the room. Our parents were watching. My mother looked faintly regretful, but stayed still. My father merely sipped his wine and muttered, "Well, maybe she ought to leave." It was like a switch flipped in me. Not fury, not sorrow, something icier, clarity. I rose slowly, napkin slipping to the ground. My tone was steady. "Fine, I'll leave. But just remember you'll regret this." Every last one of you chuckles rippled around me. Hushed gasps and murmurs. What is that meant to imply? Chloe sneered. "You think anyone here cares about your silly ghost hunches and dark vibes?" Then from the head table, a figure rose. A tall man in a charcoal suit, thick frames, stern stance. "I care," he said. Every head swiveled. Chloe blinked. "I'm sorry." "Who?" "I'm Mason," he said. "Nathan's elder brother." Nathan froze. Chloe's grin cracked. I've stayed silent because I didn't want to spoil your day. But Harper's right. You will regret this. Every bit of it. Quiet consumed the hall. Then Mason turned toward the audience and spoke with chilling calm. Nathan isn't a company heir. Our father's firm declared bankruptcy 6 months ago. He's been jobless since. And the reason he rushed this wedding to secure your wealth, not bring you into ours. The entire hall gasped. What the hell are you doing? Nathan snarled. What you never could. Mason replied, telling the truth. Chloe swung to Nathan, voice sharp. Is this real? Is any of it true? Nathan stayed silent. And the condo lease I signed last week that. You claimed we'd handle it together. I never asked you to sign anything, he muttered. Oh my God, she breathed, reeling. You let me put it in my name. My parents went pale. Mom clutched her necklace. Dad cursed under his breath. Then someone else rose from the second row of guest tables. A man in his 60s, silver hair, sharp suit. Enough, he declared. This is already a disaster. Chloe blinked again. Mr. Cohen, the president of her firm. I came here out of respect. Not for you, Chloe. For her. He pointed straight at me. Harper, Chloe whispered. You know him. She rescued my company 6 months ago, Mr. Cohen said, his tone firm. At a time when we were collapsing, bleeding cash, and days from ruin, Harper stepped in quietly, anonymously. Her guidance changed everything. He addressed the crowd. Some of you work with me. You know what shape we were in, and now, well, you know why I'm here today. Chloe's face went blank. I finally spoke. 6 months ago, your company was my client. Olivia linked us. I gave you the exact restructuring plan you pitched to the board, didn't I, Mr. Cohen? He nodded gravely. You're the reason we survived. And I'll never forget that. The room erupted in murmurs. Chloe tried to laugh, but it came as a dry wheeze. No, she works from home. Mr. Cohen turned to her firmly. Harper works from home because she wants to. She doesn't need a flashy office to save companies. She only needs to be heard. Chloe stepped back. Her cheeks flamed crimson. Then the ripple of whispers became a roar. Guests muttering, some standing from their tables, a few already heading for the doors. Someone at the gift table asked aloud if refunds would be given. And I stood unmoving, calm as glass. You belittled me, I said to Chloe. For years. Today was only the final act, but I'm done playing your ghost. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Mason came forward, gently resting a hand on my shoulder. Come on, let's leave this. The ship's sinking. As I turned away, Mr. Cohen added loudly, Chloe, expect a call from HR on Monday. The final music cue started, too late and too cruel. The bride was still upright, but everything around her was collapsing. I stepped from the hall with Mason at my side, and the ocean wind striking my face like a baptism. For the first time in years, I felt pure, like every judgment, every patronizing smile, every whispered slight had finally fallen away. Behind us, the wedding was unraveling in chaos. I didn't turn back. We walked to the lot in silence. When we reached his car, Mason leaned on the hood and faced me. You okay? I think so, I said, nearly shocked to hear myself. I should have told you sooner, he muttered, dragging a hand through his hair. But I never believed he'd actually go through with the wedding. Nathan was always slippery. You did more than enough, I said. You spoke up. That's more than my own family ever did. Mason studied me quietly. I've spent most of my life covering for him. But today I knew I didn't want to be part of the lie anymore. We stood wordless for another moment. The world around us had shifted. The old rules, the old ladder, it was all gone. And I wasn't sad. The fallout hit fast. By Monday morning, the wedding was already spreading on social media. One of Chloe's ex-coworkers had posted a vague update about a bride publicly exposed, a fake CEO, and a real genius in navy blue. Screenshots, photos, and bits of video trickled out in hours. It was a mere gossip. The business world paid attention. By Wednesday, Mr. Cohen had contacted Olivia again, asking if Harper, That is, I would accept consulting long-term, not just short projects, but a stronger strategic partnership. After that wedding, he said on the call, "You've got every executive's attention in a 50-mile circle." I didn't reply immediately. I needed space. For once, I had options. Chloe, however, didn't. The condo lease she'd signed was binding. The luxury place Nathan picked was locked in her name, and without his fake salary or a second income, she couldn't meet the monthly bills. She tried breaking the lease. The penalties alone would have drained her savings. She begged Nathan to help. He ghosted her, so she turned to them, to our parents. I wasn't present for the talk, but I heard 2 days later when Mom rang me unexpectedly. "Harper, it's been a rough week," she began, voice heavy. "That's putting it lightly," I said. "Your sister is drowning," she continued. "She's under a lot of pressure. And I know things got out of hand at the wedding, but maybe if we could all talk." "You mean help her pay the condo lease?" I cut in. Silence. "I've already helped this family more than I ever got back," I said, my voice calm. I did it quietly, willingly, because I thought that maybe eventually I'd be seen. Mom sighed. "You were seen. We were just overwhelmed. My sister humiliated me in front of 200 people, and you clapped for it." She didn't deny it. She just said, "Your dad and I are doing the best we can." "Your best was never for me," I replied. "And I'm done funding it." I hung up. By the end of the month, I'd moved into my own place. Nothing flashy but mine. A quiet apartment with sunlight in the mornings and room for my notebooks and whiteboards and late-night client calls. The checks started rolling in slowly at first, then steady. Olivia helped set up a professional website. We launched a rebrand under my own name, Harper Strategic Insight. A month later, I was flown to New York to consult for a mid-size retail chain on the verge of collapse. After one meeting, they extended a 6-month contract. I declined. I didn't want to be owned. Instead, I offered a one-time framework and diagnostics package. They accepted, and within 3 weeks, profits rebounded by 12%. I was finally living the life they never imagined for me. Meanwhile, Chloe's world shrank. Word of her behavior at the wedding had reached her company. Her performance reviews came under scrutiny. Projects were reassigned. Within 6 weeks, she was moved to a lower-floor office. No windows, no assistant, just a shared cubicle and busy work. She tried to keep up appearances, but the shine was gone. Eventually, she called. I didn't pick up. She texted a week later. "I'm sorry. I need help." I stared at the message for 10 minutes. Then I replied, "Come by Friday at 4 o'clock, 1 hour. When she arrived, Chloe looked smaller somehow. No designer bag, no heels. Her hair pulled back plainly. Her eyes didn't meet mine at first. "You look good," she said awkwardly. "You look tired," I replied. She exhaled. "I am." We sat at my dining table. I didn't offer coffee. "I lost everything," she admitted. "And I deserve it. But I don't know what to do. I have bills, and I can't go back home. They've stopped helping." "Welcome to my world," I said, not unkindly. She flinched. "I get it now. How awful I was. You were always right about Nathan, about people, about everything. And I made you feel crazy for it." I didn't nod. I didn't argue. "I don't need a handout," she said. "I just need time, a place to sleep. I'll get a second job if I have to." I looked at her and thought of all the years she towered over me. The years she told people I was broken, the wedding, the laughter, the chips comment. And yet there was something else now. A fracture in the glass, an opening. "I have rules," I said. "Okay. You don't insult me. You don't lie. You clean up after yourself. You don't ask for money." Chloe nodded, eyes welling up. "You sleep on the pull-out," I added. "And you help with the groceries." She swallowed. "Thank you. It's not a gift," I said. "It's a choice. Yours and mine." It wasn't a miracle, but it was something. She stayed. She kept quiet. She worked hard. We didn't talk much at first, but slowly the rhythm became less awkward. We became, if not sisters, then at least 2 people surviving next to each other, which was more than I'd ever expected. I stopped sending money to our parents. Chloe couldn't afford to either. Without the financial help they'd gotten used to, they struggled. They rented out the guest room to strangers. Dad picked up part-time work. Mom started selling antiques online. Funny how quickly people adjust when the free ride ends. As for me, my work took off. By spring, I had 10 active clients. I built a wait list. Olivia and I were invited to speak at a tech conference in Boston. I wore a simple navy suit and got a standing ovation. And Mason, he kept in touch. At first, it was texts, then a few coffees. Then one night, he called and said, "I don't know where this is going, but I'd really like to find out with you." I smiled. Me too. Because now I knew something I never had before. I wasn't strange. I wasn't broken. I was gifted. And finally, I was choosing who got to be close enough to see it.